Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS 2 News This Morning at 6.
We are a week now into 2016, and of course our New Year's resolutions are all fresh in our minds.
Oh, yeah. The parties are over, and that means gyms are packed, and healthy decisions are at an all-time high. But our special guest tells us those big diet plans are destined to fail.
Joining us this morning, Dr. Joel Gould, who's the author of the new book, Modern American Epidemic. And we want to say good morning to you, and we want to point out the fact that you're a dentist.
That's correct.
Talking about diets.
That's right. Well, Oprah Winfrey, she's a celebrity known for her yo-yo dieting. She's got a personal chef and a personal trainer, and she still can't keep the weight off. So what's the problem? Ultimately, the problem is vitamin D deficiency. Over 90% of Americans are vitamin D deficient, and this is the new epidemic, and I'm calling it a modern American epidemic. Vitamin D isn't a vitamin at all. It's actually a hormone that we make on our skin from cholesterol by the UVB radiation from the sun. And since nobody's going outside anymore, everybody's becoming vitamin D deficient.
What about milk? I mean, aren't we drinking milk?
You'd have to drink about 100 glasses of milk to get even close to your daily recommendations. So the answer is no. You really either have to get sun exposure and nobody's going outside, or you have to take supplements. So some of the ways that vitamin D deficiency causes obesity, the first thing is that low levels of vitamin D make our bodies think that it's winter. And it's sort of our state of hibernation. And what happens is we produce chemical mediators that favor fat storage. So for men, the love handles, and women, the saddlebags, that's your evolutionary life preserver. That's your vitamin D fat.
So we're eating more as a result?
No, what's happening is the food that we're eating is being stored as fat because our bodies think it's winter.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta get me some vitamin D.
There you go.
Well, it's not that simple.
No, it's not that simple, but also lower levels of serotonin and dopamine are caused by lower vitamin D, and those are your feel-good brain chemicals, so that causes a lot of emotional overeating. And you can make bad choices, a choice of going to the gym or going home and sitting on the couch and having chips and ice cream. You're going to make a bad choice because your brain chemistry is telling you, hey, we need to conserve energy.
So how much vitamin D should we be taking every day?
Well, it's different for every person because it's a hormone. But the biggest issue that we have going on now is an epidemic, and this is what my book, Modern American Epidemic, is about, is an epidemic of sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is actually caused by vitamin D deficiency. Now, a really brilliant neurologist, Dr. Stasha Gomanek, figured out that the part of our brain that controls how paralyzed we get during sleep actually runs on vitamin D. Low levels of vitamin D actually cause our tongue to get relaxed and go against the back of our throat, causing sleep apnea. And this is happening to everybody who has lower levels of vitamin D. The people that you see traditional sleep apnea patients, somebody who's got a fat neck, the fat and the obesity is actually caused by the vitamin D deficiency itself. Once your sleep gets destroyed, then you get into a downward vicious cycle of weight gain and feeling terrible. Your body isn't healing because you're not having restorative sleep.
So those of us who struggle with, is it going to be low fat, low carb, Mediterranean diet, does that still factor in?
It factors in, but without the right levels of vitamin D, we're not able to actually lose the weight that we're trying to. And so people are panicked when they hear about sleep apnea. They don't want to be tied to the CPAP machine. It's a giant gas mask. And what I'm here to show everybody is this. This is a mandibular advancement device. This is a dental device that you wear at night, and it holds your airway open so that you don't have sleep apnea. And this is really required to treat people because so many people have sleep apnea and they don't know it.
Wow.
With this device, it makes it so much more accessible to people who don't want to be tied to that machine for the rest of their lives. I'm one of the only dentists, or one of the first dentists, who believes that sleep apnea is actually a reversible disease, and that's what we're doing at my office, is we're actually reversing sleep apnea.
Dr. Gould, thank you for coming in this morning, on this rainy morning.
Thank you.
Dr. Joel Gould's new book, Modern American Epidemic, is now available everywhere. Go to cbsla.com and click Seen on TV for more information. Interesting.
And the doctor wants us to get out more. He wants us to get outside.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, if we can't get outside, then we're going to take a vitamin.
That's right. So one of the two.
Because the sunbed is not going to give us enough vitamin D.
That's not going to do it.
This is seriously, this is the biggest factor affecting all of modern society.
It is.
This is what's causing the obesity epidemic.
All right, let's talk about our weather here. We've got